Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms as well as Facebook Live and YouTube Live. So if you are joining us from either of those platforms, please feel free to leave a question or a comment down below. Hopefully I'll be able to answer anything as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. So let's get started here with a look at our headlines for the week ahead. We're looking at a few spotty showers possible overnight tonight, but I do think most of us will stay dry. And then looking ahead through next week, humidity will continue to increase. Now, it won't be as bad as what we experienced just last week, but it will start to feel at least more seasonably hot and humid as well towards the end of next week and into next weekend. So hopefully you're able to get out and enjoy all of the more refreshing and cooler air that we've had this weekend. Today we warmed all the way up into the lower 80s, 83 degrees in the Evansville area, 82 in Bowling Green and Lexington, and around 84 down towards Paducah. So again, it actually was cooler than average today and for the last several days. Our average high usually sitting at around 89 degrees. Now we've cooled down a good bit since then. 74 now here in Evansville, 71 in Henderson, and 75 up towards Oakland City. We'll continue to see those temperatures drop down into the mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. And looking at our satellite and radar, we've had this high pressure system kind of locked in place over the Great Lakes over the last several days, and that's what's kept the weather nice and quiet. But it is going to start to shift off to the east, and that's going to allow for southerly winds to bring up some more moisture, and that's going to fall in the form of a few scattered showers possible as we go through Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday. But at this point in time, it doesn't look like anything major is going to be moving through the area. So that's good news. Right now, we do have a few spotty showers. I mean, they are very, very isolated. We've got one lone shower there in Davis County, right along Davis and McLean County line, and then we've got another one that's lifted up towards Leopold and Perry County. Everywhere else, though, is dry, and we'll continue to see maybe again a sprinkle anywhere throughout the tri-state overnight tonight. Looking at our future radar here, you will notice that most of us stay dry. And we'll see maybe a few showers pop up through Monday morning, and then a few more showers and even a few thunderstorms possible throughout the afternoon. But again, it's not going to be a washout of a day by any means. It's just going to be something where you just got to keep an eye out. If you see a dark cloud rolling your way, then you'll know you have to take some shelter for at least 30 minutes. But looking at our forecast tonight, temperatures drop down to around 68 degrees. Winds will be out of the northeast between 3 to 6 miles per hour. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, similar to today, where we warm right back up into the lower 80s with partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, and then some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms likely early in the morning and then again later on in the afternoon. And looking at the precipitation outlook for August 9th through the 13th, so the second week of August, it already looks like we're getting outlooked for slightly above average precipitation there. And in terms of temperature, it does look like we are going to start to warm back up above average here. You can see those red colors indicating that we are likely going to remain above average through the 13th as well. So hopefully, while we can enjoy some cooler temperatures for the next few days, that will start to trend upward by the end of next week and into next weekend. So we'll top out in the lower 80s Monday, Tuesday, and then even into Wednesday, we'll start to pop back up near average by Thursday, and then above average nearly 90 degrees by Saturday and Sunday. But it does look like the weather starts to dry out again. So while we'll see some better chances for showers and storms Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, high pressure builds back in for next weekend. At this point in time, it already looks like we're going to stay dry, which is also great news. Now, dew points, that's also going to be on the rise here in addition to those temperatures, but the difference is it's not going to be well into that stifling category. We're going to see more typical humid to muggy dew points as we go through much of next week. So while we saw dew points in the 70s, even a few spots in the lower 80s last week, these will likely hang out in the upper 60s to lower 70s. So while it will be humid again, it just won't be as oppressive or even dangerous as it was last week. So rain chances increase for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's also when we start to see the humidity pump up as well. So here's what that looks like on the European model. This is our longer range model that shows that high pressure system sliding off to the northeast through New England. That's going to allow for some southerly winds to bring in some of that additional moisture, and it's just enough moisture to where you get that heating of the day, and you'll see some of those pop-up showers and storms in the afternoon. High pressure builds in briefly Thursday, Friday, and then possibly lingers into next weekend, but it does look like showers and thunderstorms stay pretty active across portions of the southeastern United States. So if that starts to shift either way, that may impact our forecast for next weekend. So we'll be looking at that relatively closely. And then another thing that's starting to heat up here is the tropics. We do have some different areas, several areas of tropical development or potential tropical development. The greatest probability is this red circle here. That is given an 80% chance of developing within the next 24 to 48 hours. And then we've got another one down here. That orange color shows a 40% chance of tropical development within the next 5 days. So this will be something we'll all be keeping a close eye on here, especially for folks along the East Coast. We are starting to enter the peak of hurricane season. So that's usually at the end of August and through the beginning of September, and then it starts to sharply decline towards October and November. So while it's been a quiet year so far, it isn't over just yet. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. And just to give you guys a quick little recap on the 7-day, again, showers and thunderstorms possible throughout the afternoon and evening hours for Monday, Tuesday, possibly lingering a bit into Wednesday. But the main theme here is that while we're going to be cooler than average for the start of the work week, we will be warming back up towards 90 by next weekend. So again, hopefully you enjoyed all of the quiet and calm weather we had for this weekend. I'm going to go ahead and check out some of the comments on Facebook to see if you guys have any questions for me. So let me go ahead and check that out real quick. All right. All right, it says William here. He says, hello from Port Huron, Michigan. I'll be back home tomorrow. Well, glad you're still tuning in from all the way out there. Good evening to you, Cheyenne. Amber says that the weekend was amazing. I'm glad you had a good time. The weather was perfect. Laura Gray says she's watching from Dawson Springs. She's one of our loyal viewers. Thank you for watching. And William also says, while he's up in Michigan, it is very smoky up there as well. Yes, they are dealing with a lot of that wildfire smoke from Canada, and that has not only reduced visibilities, but it's also provided some air quality issues for a lot of the northern tier of the U.S. We seem to have just barely escaped some of that smoke to our north. So no issues with air quality here. And then it looks like Vicky and Ricky both say good evening. So good evening to you both. That is all I'm seeing here in the comments. I'm going to hop off the Facebook live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody stay safe and have a great rest of your night.